Some of the most addictive Turkish dramas begin with a man who seems completely cold, distant, and impossible to love. These powerful billionaires often hide their emotions behind wealth, authority, and strict personalities. But when love enters their lives, everything begins to change. A single woman can break down the walls they've built around their hearts. What starts as arrogance and indifference slowly turns into deep passion and emotional vulnerability. The journey from coldness to true love makes these stories incredibly satisfying to watch. Viewers love seeing powerful men soften because of genuine feelings. These dramas are filled with intense chemistry, emotional growth, and unforgettable romance. In this video, we're counting down the top 10 Turkish dramas where the cold billionaire falls in love that will completely steal your heart. On number 10 we have Omer. Omer tells the story of a quiet and disciplined man who works at a mosque and lives under the strong influence of his traditional family. His life has always been controlled by strict values and expectations, leaving little room for emotional freedom. Everything changes when he meets a strong and independent woman who slowly captures his heart. Their relationship challenges the rigid beliefs that have shaped his entire life. As feelings grow deeper, Omer begins questioning the rules he once followed without hesitation. Love pushes him to confront his fears and family pressures. The emotional struggle between duty and desire becomes the heart of the story. Omer is a touching drama about how love can soften even the most reserved heart. On number 9 we have İnci Tanelleri follows the story of a man who has spent years in prison after being wrongly accused of a crime. When he is finally released, he returns to a world that has changed completely. Once a respected teacher, he now struggles to rebuild his life and reconnect with the people he lost. Beneath his calm and distant personality lies deep emotional pain. As he meets new people, unexpected emotional bonds begin to form. Slowly, love and compassion start bringing warmth back into his life. The series explores redemption, forgiveness, and second chances. İnci Tanelleri is a powerful story about healing through human connection. On number 8 we have Bahar. Bahar centers on a woman who has spent years sacrificing her own dreams for her family. Her life revolves around caring for others while ignoring her own happiness. However, a sudden life-changing event forces her to rethink everything. As she begins rebuilding her life and pursuing her own ambitions, she meets people who see her true value. Among them is a man whose cold and controlled personality hides deeper emotions. Their connection slowly grows as both characters confront their personal struggles. Love becomes a source of strength and transformation. Bahar is an inspiring story about rediscovering life and love. On number 7 we have Curly Sepeti. Curly Sepeti explores the hidden lives of wealthy families and the domestic workers who witness their secrets. The story reveals how power, money, and social status influence relationships. Among the characters are individuals who appear cold and distant because of their privileged lives. However, as the narrative unfolds, their emotional vulnerabilities start to surface. Unexpected romantic connections begin forming between people from completely different worlds. These relationships challenge social boundaries and personal pride. Secrets and jealousy add tension to every interaction. Curly Sepeti is a drama filled with complex characters and emotional surprises. On number 6 we have Yabani. Yabani follows the life of a young man who grew up on the streets after being separated from his wealthy family as a child. Years later, fate leads him back to the powerful family he once belonged to. However, the world of wealth and luxury feels completely foreign to him. His rough past has made him distant and emotionally guarded. As he reconnects with his family, he also encounters someone who slowly breaks through his defensive walls. Their relationship begins with conflict but gradually turns into understanding and affection. Love helps him rediscover his identity and belonging. Yabani is a powerful story about survival, identity, and emotional healing. On number 5 we have Tush Kajit Makas. Tush Kajit Makas follows the story of a brilliant young man with an extraordinary memory who has spent his life fighting injustice. After his father is wrongly accused of a crime, he becomes determined to prove the truth. His journey pulls him into a dangerous legal battle against powerful and wealthy enemies. The world he enters is filled with manipulation, corruption, and ruthless businessmen who appear completely emotionless. Among this cold environment, unexpected emotional connections begin to form. A woman who believes in his fight slowly becomes a source of strength for him. As their bond grows, the characters begin revealing their vulnerable sides. Tush Kajit Makas is a gripping drama about justice, intelligence, and emotional transformation. On number 4 we have Kızıl Goncalar. Kızıl Goncalar explores the clash between two completely different worlds shaped by beliefs and social expectations. The story follows individuals whose lives are deeply influenced by strict traditions and powerful family structures. Among them is a strong and distant man whose authority keeps everyone at a distance. However, when love unexpectedly enters his life, his carefully controlled world begins to shift. The emotional connection challenges the values he has always defended. As feelings deepen, he starts questioning questioning the rules that once defined his identity. The series explores faith, freedom, and emotional awakening. Kizil Goncalar is a powerful drama filled with tension and heartfelt moments. On number 3 we have Gulsamal. Gulsamal tells the story of a cold and powerful man who has spent his entire life driven by anger and revenge. Abandoned by his mother as a child, he grows up with emotional scars that make him distant and ruthless. His life revolves around control, power, and settling old scores. Everything begins to change when he meets a woman who refuses to fear him. Their relationship starts with conflict and mistrust but slowly evolves into something deeper. The woman's strength challenges his hardened personality. Over time, love begins melting the walls around his heart. Gulsamal is an intense drama about revenge, healing, and unexpected love. On number 2 we have Kamdaki Keys. Kamdaki Keys follows the life of a woman who appears to have the perfect life but hides deep emotional wounds from her past. She enters a marriage with a wealthy and emotionally distant businessman. At first, the relationship feels cold and fragile due to his complicated personality. However, as the story unfolds, hidden traumas and vulnerabilities begin to surface. The couple faces jealousy, misunderstandings, and emotional struggles. Slowly, the man begins revealing a softer side as genuine feelings grow between them. Their relationship becomes a journey of healing and emotional discovery. Kamdaki Keys is a deeply emotional drama about love, pain, and personal growth. On number 1 we have Adam Farah. Adam Farah tells the story of a brave woman who works as a cleaner while secretly protecting her sick son. Her life changes when she accidentally witnesses a dangerous crime. Instead of eliminating her, a powerful and emotionally distant man becomes intrigued by her courage and determination. At first, he appears cold, calculating, and completely controlled by his dangerous world. But as he spends more time with Farah, he begins seeing a different side of life. Her kindness and strength slowly break through his guarded personality. Their connection grows into a deep and emotional love story. Adam Farah beautifully shows how love can transform even the coldest heart. These Turkish dramas perfectly capture the powerful moment when a cold billionaire finally falls in love. Watching strong and distant men slowly open their hearts makes these stories incredibly satisfying. If you enjoy intense romance and emotional transformation, these dramas are definitely worth adding to your watch list.